Hey KUSD 4th graders, my name is Mrs. Kelly. I'm really happy to be here. There's a lot of people who did a lot of hard work behind all of this, so I hope you do your part too. So I want you to keep in touch with your teachers on Google Classroom. Do your best in all of your learning. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So today, we're going to talk about main ideas, 2 or more main ideas in an informational text. So I have my 2 bears here, okay? And you can see that they're bears, and you can very easily say one's bigger, one's smaller. But when you really look at a text, you really want to look at it a little bit more closely. So there's stories behind these bears. This big bear right here, I had a daughter in 1st grade who hated reading to real people. So we decided that we would get her own reading bear. So when she was in 1st and 2nd grade, I would walk by and give my daughter her book, and she would read to her reading bear. And this little bear, this was also my daughter's, but this little bear, if you look really closely, it's kind of missing an ear. This little bear, my dog got hold of and caused the ear to come off. So when we look more closely at stories, whether they're told to us or whether they are written on paper, this bear, there was a problem with my daughter reading to real people. So we had to solve that problem. This text would be a problem solution. This one, the ear is off because my dog ate it off. So this would be a cause and effect. So when you want to analyze text, if you want to reach that highly proficient stage when you're reading a text, if you're going to analyze it, you have to analyze for text structure. So we're going to go ahead and practice that today. Okay, so we have some important skills that we need to do in order to analyze the relationship between the main ideas and be able to explain them before writing a summary about it. We want to be able to tell the difference between a topic, a main idea, and the supporting key details. You need to read strategically. So that means you have to scan the text. Ask, what is the author trying to tell me? Ask, are there repeated details? And you have to analyze the structure of an informational text by using signal words. And then we're going to summarize the information of these texts. Okay? So you're going to organize your key details. You can use them put them on a graphic organizer. Then we're going to write a summary, and you can do that with or without a paragraph frame, at least for now until you get used to it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the story. Okay. So if I'm scanning the text, I can see the topic here is hurricanes. So I know I'm going to be reading about hurricanes. If I'm scanning, I'm going through, I'm just scanning the words. I'm not really reading them right now, but I see a word like devastating in the first line. I see at the last lost their lives, storm. I'm looking at the picture. I see that houses are crumpled down, they're destroyed. If I scan further down the text, I have another picture here. This one's a little bit different. This is preparedness tips. Maybe it's going to tell me what I need to do. So before I even read the story, I already have an idea of what I can expect from the story. So now I need to read a little bit closer. So let's go ahead and read the story. There have been many devastating hurricanes to hit the United States. These hurricanes are famous in a bad way. They have been large disasters. Hurricane Katrina was a deadly storm in 2005. It hit New Orleans, Louisiana. The storm was stronger than anyone thought it would be. The lakes around New Orleans had too much water, and it flooded homes. The damage was so expensive, most people lost their homes. Many people lost their lives. Hurricane Sandy was a large storm that hit in 2012. It hit New Jersey and the New York City area. Many other states were affected by the storm, but the worst damage was in the Northeast. Streets and subways flooded. Many businesses and homes were destroyed. Hurricane Harvey was a destructive hurricane that hit the Houston, Texas area in 2017. It moved very slowly, so it stayed in one area for a long time. The powerful storm rained over 50 inches. It flooded the city and many small towns. Thousands of people had to be rescued out of their homes. Many hurricanes do not bring as much damage as these hurricanes did. Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Sandy, and Hurricane Harvey are just a few of the most notable ones in the United States. There are steps to take before a hurricane hits. It is important to watch the news and have a plan. Before a hurricane hits, board up windows. Bring in outside pets and furniture. Create a supply kit with first aid equipment, food, and water. Flashlights and batteries are good supplies to have in a hurricane. The high winds in hurricanes sometimes make the power go out. These are helpful tools when there is no electricity. During hurricanes, it is important to stay inside. Stay away from windows. If there are warnings to evacuate or leave your home because of danger, follow the directions. After the hurricane, stay inside until it is safe to go outside. Check on neighbors to see if anyone is hurt. Stay with the adults in charge who can tell you what is safe. They will tell you how to help. Hurricanes are dangerous storms because they are large and sometimes slow-moving. There are important steps to take to prepare and to be safe during and after the storm. It is important to be aware and ready. So that's my first read. And I go back, I know up here, when I'm looking at that first part, it's explaining different types of hurricanes and the destruction that they do. So I know that it's a deadly storm. Okay? There was too much water. It flooded homes. People lost their homes and lost their lives. The damage was so expensive. Up here, I can say that the author is trying to give me a description of what hurricanes can do. So the structure of this piece, this first piece, would be description. If I move down further, it changes a little bit. When I get to this picture, so let me erase that. Now they're telling me there are steps to take. Steps is a really important word. Okay? During. After. So now they're giving me steps. They're telling me I need a plan, and they're telling me what to do before the hurricane hits, during, and after a hurricane. Now I'm looking at sequence. So my text structure here is sequence. So I went from description down to sequential. That gives me a clue as to my main ideas in the story. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up so we can talk about that a little bit more. Okay. I know at the beginning that the text structure was description. And I know that because it gave me things like flooded, too much water, expensive, damage. So I know the author up here is trying to tell me or give me a description. That's the purpose for the author up here. But then the author goes on to say what to do. And then I know it was sequence or chronological order. because they told me what to do before the hurricane, during, and after. It gave me steps. So now I have my main ideas here. They're already there. I know that hurricanes cause a lot of damage, but there are steps that we can take. All I have to do is combine the description text structure. That gave me my main idea for my summary. Hurricanes cause a lot of damage, but there are steps we can take to stay safe. From that point on, I just need to take key details out of the story and put them in my own words. So, hurricanes cause a lot of flooding. So if there's flooding, what did the story, the author, tell me to do? The author told me to board windows. The author said the power goes out. The author told me in order to solve that, I need certain tools. I need flashlights. Okay, so hurricanes cause a lot of damage, but there are steps we can take to stay safe. Hurricanes will cause flooding. It's important to board up our windows. Hurricanes may cause power to go out, so it's important to have tools such as flashlights available. That gives me a pretty good summary of the text I read, and it combines the two main ideas from that informational text. Oh, I hope that helps, and I hope you listen to your teachers, and that's about it for that. Have a great day, KUSD.